Well, it finally happened. It took its last breath, gasped out its last bit of coolant, and it's dead. Hi, it's TR back with another truck camper restoration video. Today we are replacing the fridge. If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time at all, at least for the last 2.5 years, I knew this fridge was failing. I kept finding these telltale signs, this yellow accumulation in there. That's the remnants of the ammonia that was in this system. To get the new fridge in and the old fridge out, I gotta remove this door. The way this is built, it's only 22.5 inches from this edge to this edge, and that's not enough. I need 24. The rough opening of the door is 24, so the door's got to come out. Right now is when I'm hating it, that I siliconed the hell out of everything, but I'm still happy I did it, except now I have to go around and I have to split the silicone bead all the way around the door with a utility knife to make sure I can get it out without completely destroying all the siding. And it's just like you think it is, right? I mean, there's nothing, this is not rocket science. I took the door handle off here before I turned the camera on, so that was sitting there so I would have access. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting that knife in there. I know you probably can't see, but, and then just cutting down. Okay, that only took a few minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that. You saw what I did. You're a little crooked, but using this tool, little curved cheap body tool I got from Harbor Freight, this 3-inch putty knife, 3-inch putty knife, and then I just gently kind of peeled it away. I cleaned up all of the frame here on the door and on the outside. So I needed to make this door so I could get it in and out easily for security, to keep the looky-loos, the flies, the whatever bugs and rain out of the camper while I'm working on it, because this is going to take a couple days. So we're going to get the old fridge out. We'll get the new fridge unboxed. We'll get the instructions and the rough cut out, because I do have to modify the cabinet that the fridge is sitting in inside. And so we're going to do all that and see how far we can get today before it gets too hot. Okay, I'm pretty sure these doors and the hinges are going to have to come off, because there's only 24 inches of clearance in the doorway. And I think with the doors on, it's a little bit wider than that. I'm not sure. Once we get it loose and I'll get it out, we'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna have to pull yeah, it's exactly 24. All right, so I can see a few modifications I'm gonna have to make. It came right out, more or less. I did scratch the floor. That's a drag. I'll have to polish those off somehow. I thought I had the pads down. Anyway, it is what it is. The cabinet doesn't look like it's going to be that difficult to modify, which is a good thing. I'll be back in a minute after I have a cup of coffee. Nice. Very nice. This is the Dometic DMC 4081 12 volt fridge. It's 8 cubic feet, slightly larger than what I had before. I need to find the manual, which is probably inside. I wasn't going to untape the doors, but I guess I will. And check on the installation, figure out how big I got to make the hole. It looks like I'm probably going to have to add some bracing at the top. No big deal, we can do that. I've been scheming and dreaming and figuring and trying to sort out how this is going to fit. It's going to fit, but I'm going to have to modify this wall. I'm going to have to move this wall over probably 1.5 inches. But the height thing has got me going. I'm going to have to drop this shelf down a little bit, which is okay. I mean, I can handle all that. That's not that big a deal. It's a fair amount of work, but it'll work. But the issue is, this is the top bracket. It goes on top of the fridge. And so the best I can expect is probably to, get it cozied up here to the roof like this. Right, I'm going to need a 1x2 back here. That's not a big deal. In fact, there's one there already. I've got room on this side, not a problem. I can move this wall over, but I'm going to have to come down here and I'm going to have to cut off a bit of a shelf down here and probably restructure the bracing and whatnot. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to pull all my electrical out to do that. I'm still sorting on that one. Bring you down here, crank you up here like this. Let's make sure you can see what I'm talking about. So you see that it's this wall. It's got to move, and I'm going to have to move it clear down into about here. All right, not a big deal. Oh, you can't see. So here's the old shelf. I'm going to probably have to come down at least 1 inch, maybe down into here, which is going to get pretty tight for this drawer. I think I can make it work. I may have to shorten that drawer just a touch. We'll see. So I'm probably going to have to move all this framing here. No big deal. Remove this shelf. No big deal. Push this wall over. Big deal. So it's not going to be plug and play, but I think I got a plan. For a new day, this is where I left off yesterday. This is the rough opening. You can see of the paneling I've cut out here. So this morning I'm going to start to remove this framing you see in here. I'm going to take this whole wall out down to this piece right here. This stuff all has to drop, but I think it only drops as far as like this piece right here, which is basically the support for the drawer. This is the shelf support, and I'll just have to move these out here to put the shelf supports back in. No biggie. Just going to be a lot of work. So I'll tell you what, since it's so tight in here, I'll come back when I've got things taken apart. I got the rough opening pretty much cut. Oops, sorry about that. Let me move away from that light. The rough opening is pretty much cut. I still have to shorten that shelf up. You can see that there by 3/4, maybe 1 inch, something like that. I've got some screws poking through from the outside. Here, there, here, that. I'm gonna have to grind those off. But otherwise, I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna check my dimensions here. 54 and 1/16, 54, awesome. And my width, I need 24. Actually, I need 23 and 5/8. And I'm right on 23 and 5/8. It's a new day, and this is where I ended up yesterday. I got all this cut out. This is all to size. Now all I have to do is frame a small wall right here, put this panel back in, put a panel in down here, and then we're ready to install the fridge. Yesterday off camera I uninstalled the gas line and put a cap on the T. Let me show you here real quick. You can see it here or not, but right there. I just installed that brass cap. So from that T it ran underneath this shelf here, and I just have the ability to pop this out really easy. Underneath through here, and then up the back. Okay, so I've got the shelf installed. There's nothing that goes on this wall, that's just open. I have to install some framing right here, And then we'll frame a small wall that comes back towards us here. We need to reinstall the wall itself. And then I need to do a wall down here. I don't know if I really need to isolate that. Yeah, I do, because of the heat. So I've got enough room to slip a wall in back here. It's really tight quarters in here, so I'll try to shoot some time lapse. But we're almost ready to slide the unit in. Just a couple final things to do and we're good to go. GoPro, stop recording. I got the cabinet finished yesterday. I didn't record a lot of it. You've seen me do this framing. There's nothing special about this. But what I ended up doing was adding some insulation on the areas that are going to be exposed either to a warm area, like in this wall, or in back. And I had the space, so I just threw up some 3/4 inch polyiso I had left over from when I did the insulation on the outside. And then I've reframed this cabinet here. Okay, so just reinstalled this wall, put in some cross bracing, a couple spots. If I measured everything correctly, it should be ready to go in the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that little shelf off there. That slips up and lays down so that you can make a bed out of that area right there. I already took that one off back there when I was taking the old one out, but I'm going to take this one off today before I put the new fridge in. And I guess the next thing is just to slide it up in here. Got it in here, and I didn't kill myself, but I'm out of breath. I'll be back. All right, I got it in with only one injury. It's in, I just got to get it leveled. I've already hooked the electrical up. We'll go out and look at that in a minute. I still have to do the fuse block work, but we'll get to that in a minute as soon as I get rid of that. Let's see how far out of plumb we are. Not bad. What about level? Yeah, we're not bad out of level either. I'm really happy with that. Okay, let me get a bigger level though. Let me go check and make sure the camper's level too. Hang on. No, you can come with me. We're okay. I need to come up a little in the rear. Right to left, we're dead on the money. So let's bring the rear up just a touch. Okay. That's a little better. Maybe just a touch more. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I tried to level everything out pretty carefully when I put this together. Plumb wise, we need to come up on the front just a touch. And then crosswise, we're a little low on this side, okay? All right, there's some adjusting feet down here. Get in here so you can just barely see it right there. There's one on the other side. Come on. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. Okay, we're going to call that good. Okay, we're on our last day of this project. Here's the fridge. I haven't taken the protective wrap off yet. I'm still contemplating flipping the doors the other way. I mean, let me see. No, it's okay that way. Nice fridge though. So I've got to rebuild this cabinet that goes in here. I'm going to put a shelf in here. This, which is now going to be too wide, set in here. Okay, like that. So I have to rebuild this. I still have to hook up the electrical and put it on 20 amp fuse. Here's the electrical. The wires I'm using are these right here. Okay, you see those? Those are actually the main feed wires when the old 30 amp converter was in here. They sent 12 volts to the battery. I saved them in place just in case I wanted to use them sometime in the future, and here we are. So these are 10 gauge. That's more than what the fridge called for. This is only a 20 amp circuit and it's only running about maybe 6 feet. So I just went ahead and overkilled it. This one's going to land right here. That's the negative. Positive will go up to the fuse panel in here. I'm going to pop that fuse panel out from the front. Moment of truth. Turn the power back on. Hey, we got lights. Performance, temperature. 3 seconds to turn it on. 3. Oh, and that's to turn it off. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's hang a thermometer in there and watch it cool off. I'll set that one right there. And I got one I'll put in the freezer. I put you on the shunt here, and it shows we're drawing 8.72. I saw it up as high as 9. I have the solar turned off right now, so that's just I'm looking around here to make sure, other than just a couple of other really teeny tiny minor loads, that should be all fridge. I think I'm going to grab my clamp-on amp meter and measure it. See, it's creeping up there again to 9.3, but let's just measure it real quick. Okay, according to my clamp-on, that's pulling 9.53 amps, and it's running pretty hard. You can hear it. Let me see if you can hear it here. And there's a fan running in the freezer there. You can hear that. I put those thermometers in at 9:30. We'll watch them. That one's at 73 in the refrigerator compartment. The fridge is at 73. Okay, we'll come back and check on those in an hour or so. Let's see how we're doing here. It's been a half an hour. Wow. 31.6. The fridge not quite as good. It's down to 62. So that's in just a half an hour. I've been watching the current and it got as high as 12 amps, but I've seen it settle in now to right around 11. Let me just double check that again real quick. So it's down to about 10.15 amps. So I think we can live with that. There's a high probability that I might need to add another battery, but I got plenty of space for one more battery. And that would give me 300 amp hours, and that should be more than enough. But for right now, we're just going to leave this run. I'll check back with you in a minute. I just checked, and the freezer is at 4 degrees. The fridge is at 42, which is about where you want them to be. And it's 10:52. So it took an hour and 20 minutes to cool to what temperatures you would expect it to run at. It's still running pretty hard. It's pulling, well, I turned on my solar, so I don't know how much it's pulling. I guess we'll look real quick. because really right now I'm net positive on solar, with solar and the fridge running. Okay, it's pulling 8.4 amps right now. I think this is going to be the most satisfying part. This project is done. Man, I am excited to have gotten this project out of the way. It's been something really that's been hanging over my head for a couple years, and if I hadn't been such a tight ass last year, I would have probably changed it out before I finished the camper. But it was still working. Might as well get everything you can out of it. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I actually was looking for a fridge and had been for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden, that company that I am loath to do business with, Camping World, put this fridge on sale for $7.99, freight included. And that was the best deal. When you compared it to refurbishing the old fridge, and those old fridges, you can take the cooling unit off the back and they can rebuild those. And I could have had that done, but I would have had to remove it, put it in a box, ship it to the company that was going to rebuild it. Then they would ship it back to me, and that's a lot of shipping, a lot of time involved. They said 4 to 5 weeks. I don't want to have another 4 to 5 weeks where I can't use the camper. I do have a 12-volt cooler. I could have hauled that around and it would have worked, but you know, just bite the bullet sometimes and do the project right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, always give me that thumbs up. I always appreciate those. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe, ring the notification bell. What's up next? Installing an air conditioner, and that's a sponsored product. It didn't go as smoothly as the fridge did, and you'll be seeing more about that when that video comes out, probably sometime in the next couple weeks. But for now, it's time to go. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Till we get together for another truck camper restoration video, or whatever may come our way. Peace.